Hi beautifuls, welcome back. A very punchy intro. I'm YILDIZ from YILDIZ Readings. I'm a psychic medium. I cover the astrology and twin flame path. This week we're having a look at your energy surrounding romance for your zodiac sign. I do have the members zone that does coaching relating to twin flame path where we can speak candidly and privately if that's something you're interested in. But very separately, I do come to you regularly live for the twin flame updates. So with this video, we're going to tune into your romance zone. If you do want a private booking, the link is below. Love and light, guys. Grab a cuppa, relax, and let's get into your energy update for this week with the extension read after in the members zone. Aries, Aries, Aries. We are here to do your psychic read. I have selected a rune, I've selected a crystal, and I've got your cards spread, okay? I'm burning that midnight hour, getting this done prior to Mercury retrograde. Now, your energy coming through this month seems a bit down. Now, let's get into the reason why potentially. Now, yes, we did just move from January, from the full moon in Leo. And for you guys, let's have a quick look. Okay, creative endeavors, children, a lot of inner child work. It can be to do with something that you were trying to, tap into. Sometimes it can be luxury. It's having the finer things in life, wanting to, be more laid back, relax, get into calm energy. Now, you did have heavy hitting placements last year, which were pretty tedious for you individually because it was first house. You've got the variety this year where Mars is actually transiting various signs, so it's giving you a bit of a break from it being all heavy hitting in one domain. Coming into the month, I do feel of February, both with the rune and the crystal, the way I'm viewing this, you do feel a little bit like you're a bit like a crab really at the moment, going inside and reflecting, which does make sense because we are in Mercury retrograde. We're also having Venus move into Aquarius, which is your 11th house. So the full moon is going to be on the 11th and it's at the critical degree point, which will hit your 11th house. And I'll explain what that means through the reading. Any subjects come up, I'll make it addressing it, but I'll channel the energy psychically. And we also have the full moon in Virgo, which is on the 23rd, I believe. Don't quote me, let me double check. 28th? Oh, wrong. 27th, okay. Now, we're also going to have Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus, so it will be subjects relating to self-esteem, the friendship groups, your hopes and dreams and endeavors, and your finances. The way it's coming through, it's this rune that I've selected for you is in reverse, so you're in assessment, point blank zero. And I'll read from the book what it connects to. Let's get straight into it, because this is an interesting read. Man, deity, Gaia. Mundane, it's connected to Aquarius, uniquely enough. Yes, it's a Mercury retrograde. Venus is also entering there. And I'm going to explain why this seems interesting. It's both fire and water, and it links to Saturn. Okay, mundane, the self. First house placement, yes, okay. Individual family members, friendships, associates, rational intelligence, as well as race memory. Transcendent consciousness, the individual as a microorganism, shaman, spiritual healer. Now it's in reverse. So in the reversal, it connects to depression, mortality, blindness, self-delusion. Now, having the full moon in Leo was heart chakra activation. We've moved into the month. You may have some belief systems and healing that's coming up. And I do feel both linking to the placement, Aquarius, number one, with all your connections at the moment, potentially those hopes, dreams and aspirations, you're getting pulled in different directions. You may be looking at the subjects and feeling as though potentially, do you have the energy for it? Gee, there's a lot more responsibility. Why hasn't it got to where I need it to be? And if you have got those achievements and you do have the money coming in, especially from the crystal, it can be looking that you're second guessing it. Sometimes it can be like we've ordered a meal and we feel it was going to be all it said it was on the menu and the picture, and then when we got it, it didn't quite seem what it should be. Now you have Tiger Iron in reverse. as a crystal for the crowning frequency for the month. I am grateful for other people's good fortune. It brings me joy to see others experiencing happiness. So I'd say this is more a personal thing. Feeling safe and protected improves self-esteem and confidence, very second house placement. Dissipates jealousy, extends blessings and goodwills to others, increases philosophical action. Okay, orange chakra, point blank 0. If you find these subjects do come up for you this month at any point, and you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling very unmotivated, you may have that self-talk going on thinking you're not getting anywhere. Yes, it can be that maybe during this month you feel unmotivated because you're realizing something, and that's fine. We can then, as you know, we move through the month, if you feel you need to shift out of those domains and reset that, don't be too hard on yourself if you feel your new findings are something doesn't resonate with you. Also, if you are really working incredibly hard and that frustration's there that you haven't been able to achieve. Number one, in 2020, we did have both Mars retrograde, which was your first house placement. It was deeply fatiguing. We're still recovering. We also had Chiron Aries retrograde. So, point blank 0, it's understandable if you feel you have been unable to achieve a lot, even if it is something that's just a short space of time. We're still energetically recovering. Now, the way it's coming through, let's have a look. I do feel something's played out. Now, I'm going to go week by week and I'm going to integrate love inside of that as well. There can be projection pushed towards you, but I feel like something's come to a head. Something's come to a stop. There might have been wounds relating to your childhood or putting your energy into something. Lackluster, I'm hearing, and that's why I did suggest really balancing those lower chakras, because after it's balanced and the chi energy is flowing within the chakra systems, you may find you have the energy to give it that shot that it's really needing to move that in the correct direction. But I feel for many of you, it can be an epiphany that something's not quite working and it doesn't resonate with you any longer. You do have emotional abundance in reverse. So yes, at the end of last month, we had the full moon in Leo, which was heart chakra. It also can be the energy and the strength really filling our cup. And a lot of you may have been putting a lot of money out, but not a lot coming in. Now, it doesn't mean that this month that can't happen. It can. You may find around the 11th, these bonuses can come to you, but I do feel spiritually and psychically, there's a circumstance that's weighing on your mind and it's the dominant energy, and I do think it's the love domain. So whatever's off on that, I really feel, even from the romantic card, you kind of feel you're where you're at, and it might have been since Christmas that you wanted to change those things, and you're trying to find peace with it. So I think you're moving into self-forgiveness, right? So whatever this is, I really feel you're moving into the week with that element of love on your mind and the bigger picture. I do feel many of you can be feeling you're very depleted, you're very tired, you're needing a break. You can at times be quite strict on yourself. And again, you have the ruin coming up as Saturn. I do feel it's a moment you're going to move through, but initially I do feel as though you could be really feeling you haven't given it enough. Why haven't you been successful? Really be careful with that self-talk, that Mercury energy, the throat chakra, and the thought patterns that are coming up. A good time, as I've mentioned in the previous videos, to document, to key, and link in with these things prior to the next Chiron in Aries retrograde, which is July the 15th. You know, you want to, as things come up, try not to sweep them under the carpet, because you'll find as you're working through them, you're going to get stronger in that domain. And I do feel you are extremely strict. Aries and Chiron is your first house placement, so when it does come to being leveled up, getting things done, it's almost like you are reacting like Leo in a sense of very strictness with yourself. So try and be gentle with yourself. Now, I do feel the first week you can really be reviewing contracts and connections, whether it's an alignment and whether the give and take and the value is there. So it can be a very deep transformative state. Now, your romantic interest, however it's relating, and sometimes we can have deeply complicated scenarios. Look, I'm not even getting it's how they're coming through. I'm getting it's how you're coming through, because the crowning energy is point blank zero love. It might have been you kind of set something in a foundation and you're looking at the fact that maybe from Christmas you wanted to shift some things about, and it hasn't really shifted. Yeah, the foundation's there, but the abundance emotionally, spiritually, potentially needs addressing. Some of you feel as though you have to forgive yourself for feeling some of these feelings. It feels quite foreign. But I do feel you'll be addressing that shadow work. I do feel it comes down to conditioning and family, because it's asking you to understand that you're made perfect, that you're human, that's okay. Now, these emotions can be running deep, especially with the water coming through on the card, the cup in reverse. It's like a lot more give and not receive, and maybe even feeling depleted and in avoidance of that circumstance, hoping that things would get better, and potentially it's really you're meditating upon that, but it is real lackluster energy coming through. There could potentially, due to the crystal that's come up, and this can either be your energy or their energy, there can be a person around you who is very strict, really made you go for the stars, which is fine, but it also comes through that there could be a very jealous energy in your life, and that could have been previously, but it's also where you stand right now when it does come to, do I motivate myself to do this if it's a very one-sided transaction? So I feel by the second week, again, you're feeling unmotivated. You could be feeling maybe you're off on something, trying to get back to getting balanced, wanting to actually do things that are more social, but again, you can be extremely busy, especially because you do have co-creative endeavors, work and things to that degree. There's things pulling at you, and it can be even having to generate that income to keep you balanced. But yet again, I do feel there's sort of this blockage coming up relating to creativity and the motivation to get these things done. But I do feel some of you are really wanting to get to the point where you get everything back in control, and you've got empowerment in reverse. It feels as though some of these circumstances are out of your control. There's something somebody's showing you, especially in the domain of love, to do with self-confidence and owning thy power. But also, I'm going to pull a clarify. I see some of you looking at a picture now. This picture could be a picture of you from many moons ago. It could be an image in your mind you have. Let's see. However this is playing out, I feel some of you might have subjects of children on the table. And the reason I'm saying that is because both you and your romantic partner are looking at that aspect at the moment, be it you together or not. Now, for those of you that aren't, there could be guilt relating to co-creative endeavors. That can be inability to, not wanting to. And when I say that, it's more on the fertility level at the moment. And that can be due to fatigue or finances or fertility. The other energy is coming through where it's wanting to, having faith and hoping things are going to change. But it's also they're in their creative energy themselves. They're in duality. They do have faith in you, but there can be some circumstances where they feel you work too hard. There's always something coming up. So I do feel you're energetically getting that download, and you're sort of knowing deep down that some of these choices do have to be made. But it can be too many responsibilities on your plate, and how do you balance that so that you can have a social life and you can actually tune into the more light aspects of things, and that may not have been present for some time. So I do see this coming up in your mind's eye. Be very careful of vices, especially if you feel you're really burning that midnight hour trying to get those things done. I'm seeing that, again, I do really see in the first 2 weeks, you're very, very quiet. It can be a bit of pain coming up, but you're so to the point with circumstances. You're about to make a major decision, so you're trying to come to terms with that, whatever that decision's going to be. Yeah, trying to really focus. You know what you have to do. You're just getting in there and trying to get things done, but the lack of motivation is there because you know that something's coming to a head where a decision or a shake-up and a change is actually required. You do have faith in yourself. It's just, it's a bit emotional to be addressing it from this standpoint. I do feel you thought something was going to be very different. It is going to be, but you're still at a very personal level going to make certain steps to change things up, and trying to trust the process of what that outcome's going to be. By the 4th week, I do feel there's a lot of movement, and really be careful driving because it is going to be a Mercury retrograde. We're more inclined to lose concentration. Now, I do feel you will have a lot of hustle and bustle, very, very busy energy. This can be via internet, via technology, or directly through transport. You're moving, having a lot of movement. But there is this honest conversation that's actually required with individuals. And I do believe it's relating to these areas that I mentioned before. So this very transparent, and it's almost like something somebody said to you is almost advice-based. And you're reflecting back to what this person said, and I do feel it's a feminine energy. And you're kind of linking a key to a situation. You're like, okay, maybe I didn't hear what they were saying, and you're going over a conversation piece. I feel due to that, it's almost you're having this activation where you're needing to speak your truth. You may have had that on delay. You can really be thinking about this individual and wanting to reach out and communicate with them. And you can find during Mercury retrograde, we do tend to hear from people from the past. I really feel you know that this is a very serious circumstance. You know you can't come to the table with these circumstances of a serious nature. What would the word be? And I don't want to come off condescending because I'm trying to find the word. Not necessarily maturely, potentially professionally, but it feels so many levels. It's too many areas. It's a consistent pattern that's come up. And I feel you're trying to clear those things up. Now, romantically, I'm seeing some of you having to attend a location that is family related. And I do feel you're really not in that frame of mind. And this is by the 3rd week. I feel you're wanting some alone time. I'm kind of getting that, yeah, you're not feeling yourself. This can be missing another individual. It can be, can you please go without me? But this person is wanting you to go with them somewhere. I think whatever the circumstances, it can even be memories of having to do this. I feel you have this deep need at the moment to actually have that interconnection and feel very grounded. Some of you are going to become part of a family. But it's more, they're already in existence. So it's already a family that exists over, you're co-creating it. It feels this is a joining and wanting people to come together. You don't know how this is going to go. This can even be a process of what you're thinking on, and you're trying to work out how you can work around it so it goes smoothly. I do feel by the 3rd week, that meditation that you're going to be having, we will have the sun entering Pisces on the 18th. By this point, I feel you're going to think on it and you're going to tap into your psychology of why you're so worried about making these choices. And it's quite funny because you've got the crown chakra relating to your romantic interest, but it's in reverse. And I feel there could be some sense of a choice of how you're going to address this. Let's see why. Why is this, please? I do feel you need to do a third eye clearing. You may be very stuck, and again, the crown chakra is activated. You're really guided to, by the third week, to look at your health, look at your diet, look at pacifiers and addictive tendencies, things to that degree, because you've got the second house placement. But you do have a third eye kind of viewpoint on this. You're trying to understand. You know, it's almost like a pride come before a fall. That can be on the other person's side of the fence or yours, however it lands. And there might have been a betrayal in a circumstance previously, and this could simply be that you feel you're shortchanging yourself. So I do feel a major conversation is set to come up, especially because your crowning energy relating to that is to do with self-esteem, is to do with responsibility. And also, yes, and the lack mentality initially, but then moving to the point you're actually taking your power back. Now, this could even be a new scenario that an individual currently is, the give and take is not there, and it's affecting you. It's sometimes we can have these circumstances and we view them, you know, and unless we feel we can communicate effectively, we actually feel we're betraying ourselves, and that's sort of what's coming through. Some of you, I feel your work colleague, you may not be as motivated with it, and there can be some difficult conversations that need to come up. But again, I'm also seeing a bank, and I'm seeing documentation and something to do with a home. Now, the stagnation, it's funny because I keep pausing when it does come to the fourth week, and that's where most of the readings that I've been doing from a psychic nature, I'm actually seeing, although we will have Mercury direct and we will have learned a lot through this process with other aspects that's going on, moving into the last week, it's almost the recovery zone and not doing anything directly right away. What it is showing you is to clear these situations up so you can have a very brand new beginning and a clean slate. But I do feel you're being very quiet. You're not letting anyone in. You are thinking about a path in particular, and I do feel by the third week you're really going to be yearning for that movement, and can be creating healthy boundaries. Now, if you physically are moving into the month and you feel a connection that you're in does not resonate, I do feel this would be the month ultimately, with the heavy hitting planets, that potentially could come to a head. But I do feel it's simply because you're starting off the month reflecting to the past and looking at where you stand. And if something doesn't resonate with you in a give and take fashion, you're going to be addressing it head on. I also feel you'll have the confidence to say the things that you need to say, and you're looking at the bounce back effect of what you can do to get life back on track. Now, by the last week, again, this could be move of home, change of circumstances, wanting to have a bit of a break, wanting to get away from that old paradigm. You've got mother energy here, nurturing yourself, and getting away and going and tapping into who you are very separately to the theoretical tribe. And what do I mean by that? Even the self-forgiveness frequency, and the two yellow chakras coming up, plus we had the new moon, and we're moving to the full moon. It's a purge, and with the full moon, it's to do with healthy boundaries for you. The Virgo moon relates to 6th house. Both with your work, you're going to find that you can be very assertive in realizing where you need to change some situations up because it's affecting the foundation. From an intimate point of view as well, during that phase, the energy you put into will be tuning into these things and trying to understand what all of these things are. Some of you can also be questioning your hopes, dreams, and aspirations. Is it an alignment? Is it a delusion? Are we using things to cope with circumstances? What are we going to do for that? And I do feel you're just moving away from any white noise, people around you, circumstances. Some of you may have a sister energy. There's something personal going on with her. For those of you who that resonates, you may have a very kindred connection with this individual. And I do feel at times you speak or spoke, I'm being told, spoke quite candidly. Now that may have gone away at a time, but the opportunity for that is going to be back on the table due to changing circumstances in their life. You may speak to them in relation to a connection that you're connected to, and where you really feel you're destined. The reason I'm saying that is because we have the sacral chakra in reverse. So lack of motivation, feeling fatigued, deep responsibility, bit of questioning as to how to correct something and how to move on. I'm going to pull a clarifier. Let's see what else comes through. The funny thing is, you've got consultant expert. Now it's in reverse. Again, you're not wanting to lose out. This can be due to finances. There can be something relating to it. But also you could be you're looking over your shoulder, pearls of wisdom, at a previous situation and realizing the value in it. Now this could be with the same person, but for some of you, I do feel it's drawing a line in the sand and you're about to shake things up. If this connection to you is very valuable and you feel it's a give and take and you can work on it, I do feel somebody may have mentioned counseling, but you may have actually been going through a theory of deep healing, inside yourself without that. Some of you, again, are feeling very, very critical towards yourself that you have not healed enough. But I do feel there's two paths. That's what it's showing. There's two cards that come out. There's two paths. You do wake up early and you are positive, but then things come back again. You know what it is. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to do the psychic messages separately relating to love. They're going to be week by week romance reads with an extension. Very different to this. On this occasion, I've done them from a chakra point of view because I know this month's going to be extremely heavy. I do feel you guys, Aries, have got to a point that you are seeing a lack. Now, the lack is always occurring on the inside of our life. And so manifestation and flowing of energy with money, valued friends, people at that same level can go a bit stagnant. So for some of you, it can be you're reaching soul closure, you're ushering beautiful things and creating healthy boundaries and trying to get things back on track. Now, from a romantic partner, I do feel you will be feeling extremely passionate. You can be feeling quite vulnerable in the first 2 weeks and then like the third week feeling really busy. But by the fourth week, it's like, right, we need to correct some things. Let's get into it. And it's going to be more from a soul connection than an intimate connection. And the reason I say that is because you've got sacral chakra in reverse. And it does feel as though there is a need for both of you to have that joint quality time, the quiet, to reset. Some of you will do this prior to reaching out if you're single. Others of you within this connection, it's a reset button, a decision as to what's to happen moving forward. Now, I'll pull one more card and we'll sum your reading up. What is the main message we need Aries to know? Yeah. I don't know why I had this. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. Friendships. You could be placing a person who you're looking at in the friendship box, but you do need to have a friendship to have a connection. So you're kind of on the fence about that at this point until the end of the month. Now, I will check in during the month. You also have to be your own best friend. We can't expect people to be good to us if we're not expecting the best for ourselves, so please do. But this could be just something that you've well and truly already purged and you're looking at new friendship groups, you're looking at new projects. Some of you may actually, if you're in the work domain, gain a reward. You could feel initially that you're really not doing well with it, but I do feel by the third week there's a potential that this is coming through. Those of you who manage teams, I actually see that employer is really impressed and you'll handle a challenge with poise, and they'll be deeply impressed. I'm also seeing some relation to music here, a connotation to music. I feel some of you could be very musically inclined, and you keep it very secret. So I don't know why I'm saying cassette. Some of you may have actually done some music on a cassette, and they're actually saying follow through with that. Bizarre messages I get. Anything else I can see before I love you and leave you? Be careful of the 6th and the 9th. They can be very testing. If those of you in a relationship you're not happy with, I do feel you're going to make a decision. Some of you that are really, really happy within a connection, you're trying to find new balance so it doesn't interfere, and you can be able to actually have some time for yourself, not just the connections, the contracts. It feels personal time. I do feel some of you are very unfulfilled with something. Whoever it is that's bugging you, they're very depleting in energy. There may have been a lack of consistency and a lack of an ability to fight any longer. Some of you may have been having disputes with a particular individual. That can be just a very separate message. But the burdens is what I'm hearing. The burdens and the logic behind why you were doing certain things. So you're kind of having a revelation and you're looking at it going, I'm not willing to kill myself for this purpose. You know, it feels too much. Whatever the circumstance is, I do feel you feel it's too much and you're really needing a break. I think if you can step back and have a break, I do feel there's going to be a multitude of conversations. People are going to be happy to hear your perspective, and I think it's overdue with it, but I also feel you may be underestimating a few individuals. Now, I do feel this is going to balance out should you wish to put the energy in, but I feel by the end of the month, a major decision is going to be made about what to do, how to rectify these things, how to bring life back in balance and be on your destiny. Stay tuned for these next messages. Love you lots. Have a great month. Should you need a booking, you can go to the link below. Also, do bear in mind, I do live twin flame reads where you can join me to get that soul healing, as well as you do get the week by week romance and more. So I love you lots, guys. Please join us later. If you do want to watch the extension, as I mentioned, you can go to the link on the main page and it will take you directly to it. I will try and remember to place it in the video. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.